Alex here with part 7 of the My Docket series on Corazon Real Estate. As my previous videos, I'll take this opportunity to direct my viewers to part 0. If you haven't seen it yet, this video goes into the landlord's opposition to motion requiring him to get an attorney. My mindset was, I guess, a little annoyed, but not really that frustrated. It didn't surprise me too much that he was upset. I did state pretty clearly in my motion that I understood and respected his position in that I didn't have a personal opposition to it. I haven't even read this opposition, but I do have a recollection that he was pretty testy in his response. I may be wrong. We'll see. In fact, for us to go ahead and take a look, we're going to need to go ahead and get into what the landlord has filed. Here we have the landlord's opposition to my motion to require him to obtain counsel. He has a, let's see, standard introductory paragraph indicating he is appearing on behalf of his corporation in proper person, that he says he respectfully files his opposition. Let's see what he actually has to say, though. On September 20th, I filed a complaint against him for alleged damages, compensatory and punitive. As the alleged compensatory damages totaled less than $3,000, I alleged punitive damages in excess of $20,000 in order to get my case filed in district court rather than small claims court where it belongs. I understand what he's saying, and in fact, this was an argument that was used before, successfully, might I add. However, the Supreme Court of Nevada eventually took a look at this argument. They rejected it, and they published a case that actually does not allow the justice courts to do what this landlord wants this district court to do. We'll talk about that when we get to it, though. My complaint does not allege an intentional tort, therefore my claim for punitive damages is unwarranted. Actually, it does allege a tort. So if it's not a contract, it's a tort. That's how the law looks at it anyway. And so I think they call it a statutory tort, where he violated statutory provisions. As my total alleged compensatory damages, this is, I don't know why he puts it in quotation marks, because this is actually a valid legal term. Compensatory damages is a real term. It totals less than $3,000. It's a small claims action, not appropriate for district court. It's not true, because the small claims court cannot give a monetary award higher than a certain threshold. So if you were to get a punitive damage award, they would be stuck. They would be stuck with awarding only what they could within their threshold. So it is appropriately a district court case. Now he's saying the case is frivolous and totally without merit. This is pretty much what everyone thinks whenever they're sued. It's a very common thought, and especially from a non-attorney. The Supreme Court will not agree because they're going to actually, he is going to win, but then the Supreme Court's going to reverse and send it back. So he's able to dupe the judge, but he's not able to dupe the Supreme Court. But we'll talk more about that when we actually get to the appeal. He says, I'm using my long experience working with collection agencies to intimidate Corazon to extort a settlement. I don't think so, because I didn't ask for a settlement. That's odd. Presumably to supplement his unemployment checks. I was working. So now he's starting to get a little weird. He's just like guessing. He has mushroomed a $125 charge from his former landlord into the fraudulent district court case for upwards of $23,000, alleging punitive damages where there is no evidence of an intentional tort, in order to escalate damages to an amount in excess of $10,000. So I'm not sure where he's getting the $23,000 from. I don't think I mentioned that number. And the reason why I'm saying that is because the damages for punitive damages are based off of your net worth as a company. They're not based off of, I don't know where he's getting this from. So I think I talk about that in the video, punitive damages. It's a legal nuts and bolts video. You guys can take a look at that if you want to learn more about how they work. But I'm not quite sure where he's getting this $23,000 from. Maybe I did mention it, but in any event, without doing discovery, I wouldn't know just how much of a punitive damage award is appropriate. The district court's already overcrowded with cases and demand its full attention. It's understaffed, and this is an odd argument. It makes me wonder if maybe an attorney told him to put that in there. It's a curious argument, but it's not going to control. Defendant Corazon asked the judge to dismiss the case with prejudice, remanded to small claims court. That's not how this works. They can't do that. You know, I know they can send it to the justice courts, but I don't think they can turn it into a specific type of action. So there's 3 different types of actions in the justice court. There's civil action, summary eviction action, and small claims action. So I think he's right that they can send it back to justice court, but I don't think that they can actually force it to be a small claims court. Sorry, a small claims action. Let's see. Defendant Charles Chinnici for Corazon Real Estate improper respectfully requests an order dismissing the case with prejudice for lack of jurisdiction. Maybe. And remanding it to small claims court, which is the proper venue to hear the matter. Then we got an affidavit, which is indicating that all of the facts alleged in this document are true and correct. Certificate of service under Rule 5, indicating this document was mailed to me. And that's it. Going into the aftermath, I didn't file anything, so I incurred $0 in costs. The opponent, or the landlord, filed one document, which is free filing, so he incurred $0 in costs. I didn't have an attorney, so I incurred $0 in attorney fees. He does eventually get an attorney who will eventually review this document just to see what he has put in the record. And I don't think they would have put more than 15 minutes into it, so I'm imagining that he spent, at the rate of $250 an hour, $62.50 in attorney fees for 15 minutes. As my previous videos, if you have any questions, feel free to post them down in the comments below, and I will see you guys next time.